great day. Studies show that children who participate in healthy programs outside of school improve their academic performance and overall personal development. Out to Learn is a website created to help connect parents to these after-school programs. Welcome Juliet Stipek and Brandon Denton from the Mayor's Office of Education. Good morning. There's that saying that idle time is a devil's workshop, right? But
yes.
Give children something positive to get involved in and they'll rise to the occasion. Where kind of the roadblock comes is oftentimes parents don't know what is out there. The other thing, they don't realize that school does a lot, but it can't do it all.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so tell us how this program came about.
This program came about with the unique collaboration between the United Way, the Houston Endowment, the Mayor's Office in the City of Houston, and the Case for Kids. We decided to look at all of the various fantastic out-of-school, after-school programs and design a system of having it available online in a searchable database so people in the community can find out about the dynamic programs that already exist in their backyard.
Yeah, and in the backyard is a key thing because it has to be convenient for the kids to get to it and stay close to home, right?
Absolutely.
What do some of these programs look like?
We're talking about after-school programs. You got child care programs. It can be sports. It can be from playing chess or playing checkers. You name it, dance programs, sports programs, anything that has quality and keeps the kids focused after school.
Yeah, and the programs, you know, sometimes they have fees to them, but those fees are small.
Yes.
Sometimes they're free. You know, we even know in our own parks department, you've got some things at the community centers that are there available for kids as well. But the programs can also include some camps and college prep.
Oh, absolutely. So we have a wide variety. The goal is for people to visit the website. We're celebrating our 1-year anniversary, and so we've got our birthday for Out to Learn, and they can go to www.out2learn.org, and there's a wide menagerie of different types of programs that are available throughout the city, from academics to child care to things along those lines, but it's all about helping families and children succeed, knowing that there's so much time spent out of school. This is to empower our communities with the information that they need to be successful.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's information or things that those parents didn't have growing up, so they can give to their kids. When you talk about college prep, there are a lot of families where a child who grows up and goes to college will be the first one in that family to go to college, so they can help them with that type of thing.
Well, and also speaking from personal experience, I know that having the opportunity for rich out-of-school, after-school opportunities, that changed my life.
Right.
And so I know that it shouldn't just be a one-off where someone is lucky enough to know someone. We want everyone to be empowered with that information, because it's about how a person can build their social capital, their networks, their skills. It's all about the well-rounded nature of making sure that a child is spiritually, emotionally, physically, and have all those different empowerments so that way they can succeed in today's world.
Yeah, and also the things that are creative for them. We know that certainly the arts gets pounded in school, and oftentimes those programs that I had growing up aren't necessarily in schools, so those kids can still have access to that. Okay, what if you are somebody who has a program to offer, but you're not in this database? What do you do?
First thing you can do is go to our website. It's Out to Learn Houston, or Out to Learn HOU. So Out, O-U-T, the number 2, Learn, HOU.org.
Yeah. What was the extracurricular activity you did in school that you think has helped you today?
Well, I was an athlete, but more importantly, I had mentorship. Some of the programs that a lot of the organizations we work with offer. I had guidance, I had support, and I had someone taking my hand after school, making sure I didn't do those things that can lead to some negative outcomes later on in life.
And what about you?
My favorite was the YMCA Youth and Government program.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, but you know, and both of those, I learned what teamwork was by being in band, and you know that in sports as well. And so those are the things that will carry through with you for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you all very much. And for more information on Out to Learn, visit outtolearnhou.org. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a great day.